Are we ready? Oh, hello. You're new. Are you here for the stories? Yeah. Welcome. Let me show you around. On the right is my house. You'll know it by the green door. Owl is in the 100-acre woods. Edward Bear's in the 6 pine trees.
Christopher Robin?
Yes?
I'd like to have an excitement all to myself, other than Edward Bear.
Why? It's Winnie the Pooh, of course.
So it is. I should have remembered. It's on account of being a bear of very little brain.
You're just fine.
What about me? When's my story?
Piglet, the whole thing is about you.
It's about Pooh.
Yes, and Pooh. And everything.
Oh, is it really about us?
What about me? What about me? What about me?
Oh, Roo.
This reminds me of the time when I had an embroilment and a beauty over a gallows. Let me tell you.
We should get on with things. It's time for the first story, don't you think?
I'm sure I won't be.
Who's it about? Me?
Me!
Oh, Roo.
The first one's about Pooh.
Oh.
But there are many others. Shall we? Let's go.
It all started a long time ago now.
About last Friday.
Winnie the Pooh lived in the forest all alone under the name of Sanders.
Christopher Robin! What does that mean?
It means there was a name on over the door in gold letters, and Pooh lived under it.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I wasn't quite sure.
They really That won't end well. It never does.
Come on. Okay?
Story 1. In which Pooh meets some bees.
And the stories begin.
One day, while out walking, Pooh came across an open place in the middle of the forest.
And from the top of the tree, there's a loud buzzing noise.
That buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, buzzing, without it meaning something. And the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee. And the only reason for being a bee that I know of is for making honey. And the only reason for making honey is so I can eat it. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, 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 oh ball. Who climbed and climbed. Just a little further, I thought of another poem, Do Share. It's a very funny thought that if bears were bees, they build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that being so, if the bees are bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all these stairs.
Pooh's getting rather tired by all the climbing. So that's the reason for the complaining poem.
Capital C, complaining, capital P, poem.
After all the climbing, Pooh is nearly at the bee's nest.
If I stand on that bridge...
Crack!
Oh, help! That's a 10-foot bounce. If only I hadn't...
That's a 20-foot bounce.
You see, what I meant to do was... That's a 30-foot bounce. Head over heels, too. Of course, it was rather really...
That's very quickly through 6 branches.
It all comes, I suppose. Goodbye, last branch. It all comes of liking honey so much. Oh, help! Who crawled off the gorseberry bush, brushed away the prickles, and began to think again. Christopher Robin!
Pooh went to find Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest.
Good morning, Christopher Robin.
Good morning, Pooh.
I wonder if you've got such a thing as a balloon about you.
A balloon? What do you want a balloon for?
Honey?
But you don't get honey with balloons.
I do.
Well, yesterday I was at a party at the rabbit's house, got a big green balloon. One rabbit's relations got a big blue one, left it behind, being really too young to go to a party in the first place. So I've got the green one and the blue one. Which one would you like?
Who thought carefully? When going after honey with a balloon, the big thing is to not let the bees know you're coming. Now, if I had the green balloon, the bees might think I'm part of the treat and not see me coming. But if I had the blue balloon, the bees might think I'm part of the sky and not see me coming. And the question is, which is most likely?
Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon?
They might or they might not. You never can tell with bees. I sometimes look like a small black cloud, and that will deceive them.
Then you better have the blue balloon.
Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh went out with the blue balloon, and Christopher Robin grabbed a slingshot, in case.
Now I need some mud. Pooh rolled around in the mud while Christopher Robin blew up the balloon. That should do it. Look at the balloon.
I'm going to let go. You're floating! Hooray!
Pooh floated gracefully up into the sky and leveled at the top of the tree and stayed there, about 20 feet away from it.
Isn't that fine? What do I look like?
You look like a bear holding onto a balloon.
Not like the small black cloud in the sky?
Not much.
Perhaps it looks different from up here.
Are you going to get closer?
It appears there's no wind. I can see the honey. I can smell the honey. But I can't quite reach the honey.
After a while, Pooh called down to Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin!
Yes?
I'm beginning to think that the bees suspect something.
What sort of thing?
But I don't know. But something tells me they're getting suspicious.
Perhaps they know you're after their honey?
They might, or they might not. You never can tell bees. Christopher Robin,
Yes?
I wonder if you've got such a thing as an umbrella near your house.
I think so.
I wish you'd get your umbrella and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, "Chip, chip, it looks like rain." That would help the deception.
Silly old man. I'll go get my umbrella. I'm back.
There you are. I was beginning to get anxious. I've come to an important discovery. The bees are definitely suspicious.
Are they?
I think they would make the wrong sort of honey.
Would they?
Yes, I think I shall come down now.
How?
Pooh hadn't thought about this.
If I let go, I will fall. Well, I don't like the sound of that. Christopher Robin, you'll have to shoot the balloon with your slingshot. Have you got your slingshot?
Yes, of course I have. But if I do that, it'll spoil the balloon.
But if you don't, I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me.
Okay. Ready, aim, fire.
No!
Did I miss?
You didn't exactly miss, but you missed the balloon.
Sorry. Ready, aim, fire.
This time, Christopher Robin hit the balloon. The air came slowly out, and Pooh floated gracefully down to the ground.
Oh, my arms! Pooh's arms were so stiff from holding onto the string balloon all that time, they stayed straight up in the air for more than a week.
A fly. Oh, my nose. Go away, fly.
Silly old bear.
Story 2, in which Pooh goes visiting.
It gets into a tight place.
Pooh started off the morning with a new tune to stoutness exercises. La 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 la, la la la, la la la, oh help! And continued all the way through breakfast and the morning walk. La la la, la 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 la, tum tum tiddly dum, la 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 la.
And in the middle of the morning walk, there was a sandy bank, and in the middle of the sandy bank, there was a large hole.
Tum tum tiddly dum. If I know anything about anything, that hole means rabbit, and rabbit means company, and company means food. Is anybody at home? There was a shuffling sound from inside the hole, and then silence. What I said was, is anybody at home?
No, you needn't shout so loud. I heard you quite well the first time.
Father. Isn't there anybody there at all?
Nobody.
There must be somebody there, because somebody must have said no. Hello, Rabbit. Isn't this you?
No.
But isn't that Rabbit's voice?
I don't think so. It isn't meant to be.
Well, can you kindly tell me where Rabbit is?
Rabbit has gone to see Pooh Bear, who is a great friend.
But this is me,
What sort of me?
Pooh Bear.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, well then. Come in. You're quite right. It is you. Glad to see you.
Who did you think it was?
Well, I couldn't be sure. You know how it is in the forest. One can't have anybody come into one's house. One has to be careful. How about a mouthful of something?
Who always liked something at about 11 o'clock. And when he saw Rabbit getting out the honey and its milk, and when Rabbit said,
Honey or condensed milk with your bread?
both, but don't bother with the bread, please.
And then there is no talking.
At last, who got up with the rather sticky voice? I must be going.
Must you?
Well, I could stay if you...
As a matter of fact, I was going out myself.
Oh, well then, goodbye.
Well, goodbye. If you're sure you won't have any more.
Is there any more?
No, there isn't.
I thought not. Goodbye, Rabbit. Who started to climb out of them, pulling and pushing, clearing my nose and my ears and my trunk paws and my shoulders and... Oh, help! I must have to go back. Oh, Father, I must have to go on. I can't do either. Oh, help and bother.
Now, by this time, Rabbit was ready to go out and found the front door full. Oh,
And went out the back door, circling round to Piglet.
hello. Are you stuck?
No, just humming and thinking to myself, see, tra-la-la.
Here, give us a hug.
Ow, you're hurting.
The fact is, you're stuck.
It all comes when I'm having front doors big enough.
It all comes of eating too much. I thought at times, only I didn't like to say anything, that one of us was eating too much, and I knew it wasn't me. I shoved on that Christopher Robin.
And when Christopher Robin returned with Rabbit, he said,
Silly old bear.
in such a loving way that everyone felt quite hopeful again. There you are. I was beginning to think that Rabbit might never be able to use his front door again. And I should hate that.
So should I.
Use the front door? Of course Rabbit will be able to use the front door.
Good.
If we can't pull you out, Pooh, we might push you back.
But then Pooh would be stuck in my house, and of course, nobody is more glad to see Pooh than me, but there would still be the issue.
And there's only one thing to do. We shall have to wait.
Wait, how long?
About a week, I should think.
I can't stay here for a week.
You can stay here all right, silly old bear. It's getting you out, which is the problem.
I hope it won't snow. And I say, you're taking up quite a good deal of space in my house. Could I use your back legs as a towel board? They are just sitting there doing nothing, and it would be convenient to hang towels on them.
A week? What about meals?
No meals, I'm afraid, but we will read to you.
Would you read a sustaining book as such to comfort for wedge fear and great sickness? Capital W, wedge, capital B, bed.
And so Christopher Robin read to the north end of Pooh, while Rabbit hung washing on the south end.
What do you think, Pooh? Let's try it out.
Okay.
Get your friend and relation, Rabbit.
Christopher Robin took hold of Pooh's front paws, and Rabbit took hold of Christopher Robin. And Rabbit's friend and relation took hold of Rabbit, and they all pulled together.
Pull! Pull! Pull!
Ouch! Oh, Father! Pull!
Christopher Robin and Rabbit's friend and relation went head over heels backwards, and out went Winnie the Pooh. Free! Yay!
Thank you, friends. I think it's time for a little something. And Winnie the Pooh went home as fast as possible, humming and howling all the way. Story 3, in which
Eeyore loses a tail.
And who finds one?
The old gray donkey, Eeyore, stood alone in a thickly part of the forest, thinking, why, wherefore, inasmuch as which.
Hello, Eeyore. Eeyore was glad to be able to stop thinking.
How do you do?
Very well. And how are you?
Not very how. I haven't felt at all how in a long time.
I'm sorry about that. Let's have a look at you. Why, where's your tail?
Where is? What has happened to me?
It isn't there.
Are you sure?
Well, either a tail is or isn't there. You can't make a mistake about it. And yours isn't there.
Then what is?
Nothing.
Let's have a look. I believe you're right. That accounts for a great deal. It explains everything. No wonder.
You must have left it somewhere.
Somebody must have taken it. How like them.
Eeyore, I will wipe your tail.
Thank you. You're a real friend. How like son.
So off went Winnie the Pooh to find Eeyore's tail. It was a fine spring morning in the forest. Up and down marched Pooh through open slopes of heather
Over rocky beds of streams, up steep banks of sandstone.
and into the 100-acre woods. For it was the 100-acre woods that Owl lived. If anyone knows anything about anything, it's Owl who knows something about something. Or my name's not Winnie the Pooh, which it is, so there.
Owl lived at a residence which was grander than any others because it had both a knocker and a bell pull.
Underneath the knocker, there was a notice that read, "Was ring if an answer is required. Please ring if an answer is required." And underneath the bell pull, there was a notice that read, "Please canoe if an answer is not required. Canoe. Please canoe. Please not." Oh. These notices had been written by Christopher Robin, who was the only one in the forest who could spell.
Hey!
Please ring if an answer is required. Please not if an answer is not required.
Ding dong.
Owl, I require an answer.
Hello, Pooh. How's things?
Terrible. Eeyore, who is a dear friend of mine, has lost her tail. Can you kindly tell me how to find it?
Well, the customary procedure in such cases is as follows.
What does crustamony proceed mean? I'm a very, very little gray, and big words bother me.
It means the thing to do.
Capital T, think, capital D, do.
The thing to do is as follows. First, issue a reward.
Wait a moment. What were you saying? You sneezed as you were trying to tell me.
I didn't sneeze.
Yes, you did, Owl.
Excuse me, Pooh, I did not. You can't sneeze without knowing it. What I said was, first issue a
You're
reward.
doing it again.
A reward that we will give a large something to anybody who finds Eeyore's tail.
I see, I see. Speaking of large somethings, I usually have a small something right about now, right about this time in the morning.
Pooh always liked the little something at 11 o'clock in the morning and looked wistfully at the cupboards in the corner of Owl's property, hoping he would take the hint.
A mouthful of condensed milk with perhaps a little honey? Owl did not take the hint.
We will write out this notice and put it up all over the forest.
A little honey, or not, as this case may be. Owl went on, and on, and on, and on.
Using longer and longer and longer words until finally
And the person to write out this notice is Christopher Robin.
Pooh had been saying yes and no and turned to all the owls sang, and having said
Yes, yes.
and now said,
No, not at all.
without really knowing what Owl was talking about.
Didn't you see that? Come and look.
Who looked at the knocker and the notice below it, and then at the bell pull and the notice below it. But that bell pull, the more I look at it, the more I feel as if I've seen it somewhere else, sometime before.
Well, I came across it in the forest. It was hanging over a bush. At first, I thought someone lived there, so I rang it, and nothing happened. So I rang it again, loudly, and it came off in my hand. And as nobody seemed to want it, I took it
Oh,
home.
Owl, you made a mistake. Somebody did want
When Christopher Robin nailed it on its right place again, Eeyore frisked happily about the forest.
Winnie the Pooh came all over Piglet and had to hurry home for a little snack. Who found the tail? Pooh, at 1:45.
It was 11:45.
I found the tail.
Story 4.
In which Kanga and Roo come to the forest.
And Piglet has a bag.
No one quite knew where they came from, but there they were, Kanga and Baby Roo. How did they come here?
In the normal way, if you know what I mean, Pooh.
Oh, but Pooh didn't know what he meant. I wonder if Piglet knows. At Piglet's house, there was also Rabbit.
What I don't like about it is, here we are, you Pooh, and you Piglet, and me, and then suddenly,
Eeyore.
and Eeyore, and then suddenly,
Oh, and Owl.
and Owl, and then all of a sudden,
Oh, and Eeyore. I was forgetting.
here we are, all of us, and then suddenly, we wake up one morning, and what do we find? We find a strange animal among us.
Capital S, strange, capital A, animal.
An animal we had never even heard before. An animal who keeps her family in her pocket. Suppose I carried my family that would be in my pocket. How many pockets would I want?
16.
17, and one more for a handkerchief. That's 18. 18 pockets in one suit? I have at the time.
I think it's 15.
What?
15.
15 what?
Your family. Never mind, Sis. The question is, what are we to do about Kanga?
The best thing to do would be to steal and hide Baby Roo, so that when Kanga asks, "Where's Baby Roo?" we say, "Aha!"
Aha. Aha. Of course, we could say aha even if we hadn't stolen Baby Roo.
Who you don't have any brain.
I know.
We say aha, so that Kanga knows that we know where Baby Roo is. Aha means we'll tell you where Baby Roo is if you promise to leave the forest and never come back. Now, don't talk while I think.
Who went into the corner and practiced saying aha in the right sort of voice? Aha. Aha. Sometimes it did mean what Rabbit said, and sometimes it didn't. I suppose it's practice. I wonder if Kanga will have to practice too, so that she understands it.
There's just one thing. Christopher Robin said that a Kanga was generally regarded as one of the fiercer animals.
Capital F, Pearson, capital A, animal.
I am not frightened of fierce animals in the ordinary way, but it is well known that if one of the fiercer animals is deprived of its young, it becomes as fierce as two of the fiercer animals, in which case, aha, is perhaps a foolish thing to say.
Piglet, you haven't any pluck.
It is hard to be brave when you're only a very small animal.
It is because you're a very small animal you will be useful in our adventure.
Oh,
Besides, Kangas are only fierce during the winter months and at other times being of an affectionate disposition.
What about me? I suppose I shan't be useful.
never mind, Pooh. Another time, perhaps.
Without Pooh, the adventure would be impossible.
Oh.
Now listen, here's my plan all laid out.
The plan to capture Baby Roo. Number 1, general remarks.
Kanga runs faster than any of us, even me.
Number 2, more general remarks.
If Roo were to jump out of Kanga's pocket and Piglet were to jump in, Kanga wouldn't know the difference because Piglet is a very small animal.
Number 3, therefore, like Roo.
Like Roo.
Number 4, a thought.
But if Kanga were looking the other way, she wouldn't notice the difference.
Number 5,
But Pooh would have to be talking to her excitedly, so she doesn't notice anything.
number 6,
So then I could run away with Roo,
number 7,
quickly,
number 8, another thought.
and Kanga wouldn't discover the difference until afterward.
Number 9,
We say, aha.
All three of us?
Yes.
Oh,
Why, what's the trouble, Piglet?
nothing. As long as we all three say it. As long as we all three say it, I don't mind. But I shouldn't care to say aha by myself. It wouldn't sound nearly so well. By the way, you aren't quite sure about what you said about the winter months.
Yes, yes. Well, who you understand what you have to do, right?
No, not yet.
You have to talk very hard to Kanga so that she doesn't notice anything.
Oh, what about?
Anything you like.
You mean like telling her a little bit of poetry?
Yes, that's it. Splendid. Now come along.
They all went to find Kanga.
Kanga and Baby Roo were spending a quiet afternoon in a sandy part of the forest.
Look at me jumping! Ah! Household! Look at me jumping! Ah! Household! Look at me jumping!
Well, one come through there, and then we must be going. Good afternoon, Kanga. Good afternoon, Pooh.
Look at me jumping! Ah!
Household. Good afternoon, Rabbit. Good afternoon, Piglet.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Look at me jumping! Ah! Household!
Oh, Roo, Kanga. I don't suppose you're interested in any poetry at all? Oh.
You'll like this piece of poetry.
You'll love it.
You must listen carefully.
So as not to miss any of it.
How would it go, Pooh?
On Monday, when the sun is hot, I wonder to myself a lot. Now, is it true or is it not that which is which and which is what? On Tuesday, when it hails and snows, the feeling of me grows and grows. That hardly anybody knows if those are these or these are those. On Wednesday, yes, it is, isn't it? Now, one more jump for dear, and then we'll let you go. Speaking of poetry, have you ever noticed that tree right over there? Here, right over there. Go down, jump over here, and then we really let it go.
You ought to look at that tree over there.
I can see a bird in it from here. Or is that a fish?
You ought to look at that bird from here, unless it's a fish.
It isn't a fish, it's a bird.
So it is.
Is it a starling or a blackbird?
That's the question. Shall I help you, Roo?
And then at last, Kanga did turn her head to what? Internet tree?
In you go, Roo.
Piglet jumped into Kanga's pocket.
And off scampered Rabbit with Roo as fast as possible. Why, there's Rabbit. Are you right, Roo dear? I think Rabbit thought of something and had to go away suddenly. And Piglet? I think Piglet also thought of something suddenly. Well, we just going home. Goodbye, Roo. Goodbye.
And in 3 large jumps, she was gone.
I wish I could jump like that. There were moments when Piglet wished that Kanga couldn't jump like that.
This take it is shall really to never I find it ow!
And it was like that all the way to Kanga's house.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Of course, as soon as Kanga unbuttoned her pocket, she saw what had happened. Just for a moment, she's frightened. Just for a moment.
Crystal and Loudon would never let any harm happen to Roo. If they had joked at me, I'll have a joke with them. Now, Roo dear, bedtime.
Aha!
Back goes.
Aha! Why am I the only one saying aha?
Piglet looked around anxiously for the others, but the others weren't there.
Rabbit was playing with Baby Roo at home and feeling more fun every minute.
Pooh had decided to be like Kanga and was still at the standing place on the top of the forest, practicing jumps. Next, there's a mess and it really would be a good idea to have a go back this evening. Would you like that, Reader?
Kanga, I see that the time has come to speak plainly.
Fine, little Roo.
I'm not Roo, I'm Piglet.
Yes, Pooh, yes, and imitating Piglet's voice too. So clever.
Can't you see? Haven't you got eyes? Look at me.
I am looking here, and you know I told you yesterday about making faces. If you go on making faces like Piglets, you grow up to look like Piglet, and think how tall you would be. Now then, enter the back and roll again.
Ow! Let me out! I'm Piglet.
Don't open your mouth, Roo dear, so the soap doesn't go in.
Here, what did I tell you? You did that on purpose. Now y'all clean.
Next says the medicine and then bed.
Well, what medicine?
To make you go big and strong, so you won't be small and Piglet.
Well,
Suddenly, there was a knock at the door.
come in. Christopher Robin, tell Kanga who I am. She keeps saying I'm Roo. I'm not Roo, am I?
You can't be Roo, because I've just seen Roo playing at Rabbit's house.
Fancy that. Fancy not making a mistake like that. There you are. I told you so. I'm Piglet.
But you can't be Piglet. Piglet is quite a different color.
The bag. It was the bag.
There's your medicine. It really hasn't quite tasted after it used to it.
Mr. Loudon?
I knew it was a piglet, but then I wondered who can be.
Perhaps some relation of Pooh's?
Agreed.
I should call it Poohtel. Henry Poohtel for short.
No.
And with that, Henry saw that the door was open and ran home as fast as possible.
I must get back to my own comfortable color.
So Kanga and Roo stayed in the forest.
And every Tuesday, I spend the day with my great friend Rabbit.
And every Tuesday, I spend the day teaching Pooh how to jump. And every Tuesday, I don't go anywhere.
So they were all happy again. Story 5, in which
Piglet is entirely surrounded by water.
It rained and rained and rained.
Never in all my life, in all my 3 or 4 years, have I seen so much rain. Days and days and days. If only I'd been at Pooh's house, or Christopher Robin's house, or Rabbit's house when it began to rain. Then I should have had some company instead of being here alone, with nothing to do except wonder when it would end. Have you ever seen such rain, Pooh? Isn't it awful, Piglet? I wonder how it is over Christopher Robin's way. I should think poor old Rabbit has about flooded out by this time. It would have been jolly to talk like this. It isn't any good having anything exciting like floods if you can't share them with somebody.
For it was rather exciting.
the dry little ditches in which Piglet had noticed about had become streams.
The streams were rivers.
And the rivers were beginning to take up so much space everywhere that Piglet was beginning to wonder,
Is it coming into my house soon? It's a little anxious to be a very small animal entirely surrounded by water.
all the caterpillars, all of them.
Christopher Robin and Pooh can escape by climbing trees, and Rabbit can escape by jumping, and Rabbit can escape by burrowing, and Owl can escape by flying, and Eeyore can escape by making a loud noise into rescue. And here I am, surrounded by water, and I can't do anything.
It went on raining.
Every day, the water got a little higher until now it was nearly up to Piglet's window.
Who still hadn't done anything.
Pooh hasn't much brains, but never comes to any harm. Owl hasn't exactly thought of brains, but knows things. Owl knows he was surrounded by water. Rabbit isn't much in the book, but can always think of a clever idea. Kanga isn't clever, but she would be so worried about Roo that she would do a good thing without thinking about it. But I wonder what Christopher Robin would do.
Oh! Suddenly, Piglet had remembered a story in which Christopher Robin once told her.
About a man on a desert island who wrote something in a bottle and threw it in the sea.
If I write something in a bottle and throw it into the water, perhaps somebody will come and rescue me.
Piglet began to search the house, the parts that weren't underwater.
A pen, and a piece of dry paper, and a bottle with work to it.
Piglet wrote on one side of the paper.
Help, Piglet,
Piglit.
me.
And on the other side,
It's me, Piglet, help, help.
Piglet put the paper in the bottle, corked it up tight, leaned down the window as far as possible, and threw.
Splash!
Where is it? There it is. Is that it? Yes, definitely.
Piglet watched the bottle float slowly away in the distance.
I have done all I can to save myself, so somebody else will have to do something, and I hope they do it soon, because if they don't, I shall have to swim, which I can't. I wish Pooh were here.
when the rain began, Pooh was asleep.
It rained and rained and rained.
And Pooh slept and slept and slept. It had been a tiring day.
Pooh was dreaming of wild weasels and beehives and pulling out of trees and
Oh, what's happening? What's with all this water? Pooh splashed through the door and looked around. This is serious.
Capital S.
I must have an escape. I'll take my largest pot of honey and climb up my tree above the water. Pooh did this again and again. Now I must get my next largest pot. And again and again.
and after the whole escape was finished, there was Pooh, sitting on a branch with 10 pots of honey.
Now I'm safe.
2 days later, there was Pooh, sitting on a branch with 4 pots of honey.
3 days later, there was Pooh, sitting on a branch with 1 pot of honey.
And on the morning of the 4th day, Piglet's bottle came floating by.
Honey!
Pooh jumped in the water, seized the bottle, and struggled back to the tree again.
Oh, bother. All that wet for nothing? What's that bit of paper doing in there? It's a message. M-I-S-S-A-G-E. That's what it is. And that's a P. And so is that. And so is that. And P means Pooh. So it's an important message to me. Only I can't read it. I'll have to find Christopher Robin, or Piglet, or Owl, one of those clever readers who can read things. They'll tell me what this important message means. Only I can't swim. Bother. And then Pooh had an idea.
I think, for a very, very little brain, it was a good idea.
If a bottle floats, then a jar can float. And if a jar floats, then I can sit on it, if it's a very big jar.
Pooh took her largest jar and corked it up.
Every ship has a name. I shall call mine the Floating Bear, who dropped the boat into the water and jumped in after it.
Splash!
Whoa!
Pooh and the floating bear were uncertain as to which of them were meant to be on top.
Whoa! But they settled on the Floating Bear underneath, and Pooh triumphantly astride, paddled vigorously.
It rained and rained and rained.
The water can't go up to my house. It's rather jolly to look out and see the water all around.
Every morning, Christopher Robin would come out with his umbrella and put a stick where the water would come up to.
And every morning, the water would rise, and I couldn't see the stick anymore.
And every morning, Christopher Robin would come out and put a stick where the water would come up to.
And every morning, the walk was shorter and shorter.
Until, on the morning of the 5th day, Christopher Robin realized,
I'm on a real island!
which was exciting.
It was on this morning that Owl flew by.
I say, Owl, isn't this fun? I'm on an island.
The atmospheric conditions have been unfavorable lately.
The what?
It has been raining.
Yes, it has.
The flood levels have reached an unprecedented height.
The who?
There's a lot of water about.
Yes, there is.
However, the prospects are rapidly becoming more favorable. At any moment,
Have you seen Pooh?
No. At any moment,
I do hope everyone's all right. I've been wondering. I suspect Pooh and Piglet are together. Do you think they're all right, Owl?
I expect so. You see, at any
You
moment,
go and see, Owl.
I'll go back directly.
Owl flew off, and it wasn't too long before.
Who isn't there?
Not there?
There are 9 pots of honey on a branch, but no Pooh.
Oh, Pooh. Where are you?
Here I am.
How did you get here?
On my boat. I had an important message delivered to me, and owing to have some water in my eyes, I brought it to you.
But this is from Piglet.
Isn't there anything about Pooh in there?
Help! Piglet! Me! It's me! Piglet! Help! Help!
Oh, those peas are piglets? I thought they were Poohs.
We must rescue Piglet at once. I thought we were together, Pooh. Owl, could you carry Piglet on your back?
I don't think so. It is doubtful I have the necessary dorsal muscles.
Do go and tell Piglet that rescue is coming. Me and Bill will think of a rescue plan as quick as ever we can. Oh, don't talk, Alan. Go on, quick.
Alan tried to think of something to say, but couldn't.
Now then, Pooh, where's your boat?
I ought to say, it isn't an ordinary sort of boat. Sometimes it's a boat, and sometimes it's more of just an accident. It all depends.
Depends on what.
On whether I'm on top or underneath. It's called the floating bear.
It isn't what I expected. You're so brave and clever, Pooh.
Oh, go on, I'm not.
But it's too small for two of us.
3 of us, including Piglet.
That makes it smaller still. Oh, Pooh Bear, what are we to do?
And then this bear,
Pooh Bear.
Winnie the Pooh.
F.O.P. Friend of Piglet's.
R.C., Rabbit's companion.
E.C. Eeyore's comfort. Who has said something so clever that Christopher Robin could only look eyes wide and stare, mouth open, wondering.
Is this really a bear of very little brain?
We might go in your umbrella.
What? Oh,
For suddenly, Christopher Robin saw the name of it.
if I put the tip downward in the water,
It floated but wobbled.
It looks all right. Whoa!
They both got it and wobbled no longer.
I shall call this boat the Brain of Pooh.
The brain of Pooh sets sail in a southwesterly direction, revolving gracefully.
Hello, Al. Have you come to rescue me?
In later years, Piglet liked to talk about the very great danger.
The only danger was the last half an hour of imprisonment when Al told a very long story.
I had an aunt who once said seagull's egg by mistake. Let me tell you.
The story went on and on and on.
Once, she thought she laid an ostrich egg, but it was simply a rather big stone.
And on and on.
Until finally, Piglet, who was listening out the window without much help, naturally and quietly started to fall asleep, looking out the window towards the water.
And she looked down with a squawk.
Ah! Oh, what's that?
Oh, Piglet, here we come.
It's Christopher Robin and Pooh.
It was a fine ship, the Brain of Pooh, coming over the sea to rescue her.
Hooray, I'm rescued!
Don't you want to hear the rest of my story?
No. So that is where this story will end.
As quickly as ever you can, and all the others, because it will be tomorrow.
It will. Will it?
Yes. So you go and tell them, Alan?
Al tried to think of something nice to say, but couldn't.
Pooh, Christopher Robin is giving a party.
Oh, will it be those little cake things with the pink sugar icing?
Cake things. It's to be a special sort of party because of what you did to save Piglet from the flood.
A party for me? How grand. I wonder if everybody else will know that it is a special Pooh party. And if Christopher Robin has told them about the Brain of Pooh and the floating bear. It would be awful if everybody has forgotten. Nobody quite knows what the party is for. Oh dear.
Eeyore, Christopher Robin is giving a party.
Interesting. I suppose they'll be sending me down the office, which got trodden on. They thought so. Not at all. So rich to me.
I have an invitation for you.
What's that like?
I have an invitation.
Yes, I heard you. Who dropped it?
This isn't anything to eat. It's asking you to the party tomorrow.
You mean people.
No, I mean you. You're invited.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. Christopher Robin said all of them. Tell all of them.
All of them except Eeyore.
All of them.
A mistake, no doubt, but still I shall come. Only don't blame me if it rains.
But it did rain.
Christopher Robin had made a table out of long pieces of wood and they all sat around it. Rabbits, friend or relations, spread themselves out above the ground and waited hopefully in case anybody asked them something or dropped anything or asked them the time.
Hello, Pooh.
Hello, Roo.
Hello, Piglet. Hello, Eeyore.
It will rain soon. You'll see it.
I must tell you about this accident my dear friend Great Gray nearly got into. You know him, surely.
No.
Hello, Owl. Hello, Christopher Robin.
Drink your milk first here and then up afterwards.
But I can do both at once.
Okay, everyone. This party is a party because of what someone did. And we all know who it was. I've got a present for this special someone, and Where is it?
Friends, including audience, it is a great pleasure, or perhaps I should say, it is a pleasure so far to have you at my party. What I did was nothing, and any of you except Rabbit and Dowler and Kanga would have done the same. Oh, and Pooh. My remarks, of course, do not apply to Piglet and Roo, because they are too small. Anyone would have done the same, but it happened to be me. It was not, I need hardly say, it was an idea of what Christopher Robin is looking for now. Try under the table. That I did what I did, but because I feel that we should all do what we can to help. I feel that we should all come.
Me neither. Was it me?
What you were talking about?
I don't know.
I thought this was your part.
I did once, but I suppose it isn't.
I'd sooner it was yours than Eeyore.
As I was saying before I got interrupted by various loud sounds, I feel that we should
Here it
all
is. Pass it down to silly old Pooh.
for Pooh.
Of course it is. The best bear in all the world.
I might have known. After all, one can't complain. Somebody spoke to me only yesterday, and it was just last week or the week before that dragon bumped into me and said, "Follow me."
Open it, Pooh.
What is it?
I know what it is.
No, you don't. It's a special pencil case.
There are pencils marked B for bear, and pencils marked HB for helping bear, and pencils marked BB for brave bear.
There's also rubber for rubbing out anything in which you misspell, and a ruler for ruling lines for words to hold on.
And blue pencils, and red pencils, and green pencils for writing special things in blue, and red, and green.
And all these lovely things come in a special case that shuts with a click when you click it.
And they are all for you, Pooh.
Oh, thank you.
3 cheers for Pooh! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
This writing business, pencils and whatnot, overrated if you ask me. Silly stuff, nothing in it.
Later on, when they had all said goodbye and thank you to Christopher Robin,
Winnie the Pooh and Piglet were walking home together thoughtfully in the golden evening.
When you wake up in the morning, Pooh, what's the first thing you say to yourself?
what's for breakfast? What do you say, Piglet?
I say, I wonder what's going to happen exciting today.
It's the same thing.
And this is where we say goodbye to the 100-acre wood and the 6 pine trees.
And Pooh and Piglet and all the rest.
And what did happen the next morning? If you think of it, we'll be sure to tell you.
Good night!